So winter's around the corner and you're looking for new fragrances to wear this winter. I've got 25 fragrances on this list, all from designers, niche brands, indie brands that are all under $100 and are perfect to wear this winter. And we're going to count down the 25, all coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. If this is your first time landing on this channel or you've been watching videos here for a while and still have not subscribed, please click that subscribe button below and also click the bell icon so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. 25 fragrances to wear this winter, all under $100. I decided to combine indie, niche, and designers all together this time because, you know, I like a lot of different variety of fragrances and I don't solely focus on designer fragrances, and a lot of these niche and indie brands have great fragrances. So I just wanted to combine because fragrance is fragrance after all, and it doesn't matter if it's a designer, if it's a niche, if it's an indie, as long as it's good, might as well get it, right? And all of these are under $100, which won't break your bank. And if you're on a budget and you are looking at a ballpark of $100, these would be perfect. And a lot of these also are under, you know, like $75, $50, things like that. So there's all kinds of price ranges between the $100 range. So you can go anywhere for just under 100 or like 50, 60, 40, 30. There's sales all over the place. So let's get right to it. Now the first fragrance is called CUIR or CUIR from MOLINARD, this right here. I did a review for this one and along with another one from this brand. But this is actually discounted. It retails, suggested retail for around $70, $80, but you can find these for around $50. And CUIR basically means leather. So leather is perfect for winter, I think. And this one's a unique take on leather. It's got some interesting notes. It's a bit fruity, but very leathery. As soon as you smell it, you can pick up the fruity notes. But really, really a great scent, CUIR or CUIR. It's a very difficult word to pronounce in French, unfortunately. I'm not doing it justice, but if you like leather fragrances, you should definitely check this one out. And in fact, MOLINARD is a great house, a classic French house you should definitely look into. So do check this one out at number 25. It's CUIR by MOLINARD. At number 24, we're going to a classic fragrance dating back to the early 90s, and it's HAVANA by ARAMIS. Now this is an eau de toilette, but I find this to be perfect for winter wear. It's not a beast mode fragrance. It's not really heavy. It's on the lighter side, but it's tobacco. It's you know, inspired by Havana, Cuba, and things like that. So it's got some depth to it and lasting power, especially for winter. But if you want like heavy fragrances, this definitely isn't it. But it's a great classic fragrance. It's a bit maybe too classic for some of you that are too young or younger. So give it a chance. I think you can find some really good deals for these around $30, $40, and that won't break your bank. And if you spend $30, $40 and you have a $100 budget, you can get 2 or 3 fragrances and have 3 fragrances to wear rather than 1 for $100. So do check out ARAMIS's HAVANA. I really love this one. It's a great tobacco, and that's at number 24. Now I wanted to include a vetiver in this list, and we've got one, and this is the GUERLAIN Vetiver Extreme, this one right here. Now this is actually a great scent to wear all year round. It's a slight bit heavier than the original, and it also has a little bit of like a licoricey, anisey vibe to it with that vetiver. So it's a unique take on the fragrance, and I really like this one. It's, you know, kind of like if you're tired of the original, you might want to go and try this one, because this one, just like I said, it's the original with a light twist of a little more depth to it with the licorice note. So it's an interesting take on that fragrance. I did a video for this one you should check out, comparing this to the original vetiver, GUERLAIN Vetiver. So this is GUERLAIN Vetiver Extreme, and that's at number 23. At number 22, back to another tobacco fragrance, and this time it's Dreamer by Versace, another classic fragrance. Now this one it still smells great. Again, it might be a little bit too classic for some of you, but give it a chance. It's a unique tobacco, kind of like fresh, dried herbal kind of tobacco leaves inspiration for this fragrance. You can find these at for deals all over the place. I think anywhere around $40 to $50. I think you can still find this for that price, and I think it's one of the awesome original awesome releases from Versace that I wore a lot of in the late 90s. Got tired of it, but repurchased it, and even though it's been reformulated, I think it still smells great. So this is Versace Dreamer, and that's at number 22. At number 23, we're going to even more of a classic, but perfect winter scent. That is YATAGAN by CARON. So this is very classic. It smells like a pine forest, which I really love that kind of a smell because I live in California, and when we travel up north to the Pacific Northwest, you can smell the pine forest. It's just awesome. But this one actually has a bit of an animalic touch to it. It's got castoreum, so it gets a little animalic once it hits your skin, but when you smell it from the bottle, it's just like a pine forest. So it dates back to the late 70s, but I think the formula they had then and today is completely different. So do check it out. And again, this might be a little too mature for some of you, but do give it a try. I think you'll like it, and you'll kind of develop a nose and start enjoying more classic style fragrances. So CARON's YATAGAN is at number 21. Okay, at number 20, we're doing the top 20 now. We're going to the house of Jean Varvatos, and it is Dark Rebel Rider. Now, why did I include this in this list? Because I really like this leather. It's a leather fragrance, and of course you can see that it's got a leather, so it's leather, but a great leather. It's actually, it came out after Dark Rebel, and Dark Rebel was a tobacco fragrance, and I find Dark Rebel to be a little underwhelming for performance. So I find that one to be a little more appropriate for fall, but for winter, I think Dark Rebel Rider is perfect. It might be a little too heavy for some people, because the leather is pretty prominent in here. It actually kind of also slightly reminds me of this leather, and both of these can be found for around $50, so it won't break your bank. So Dark Rebel Rider by Jean Varvatos is at number 20. Going to a classic oud fragrance now, and this is M7 by YSL. This is actually slightly orangey, citrusy oud. It's not the original M7 that came out in the early 2000s. This one's the Oud ABSOLU. So M7 Oud ABSOLU by YSL, and I find this to be really awesome for a designer oud. And if you're looking into getting into ouds and you don't have the budget to go to something really awesome like oud wood from Tom Ford, this one's actually a great price. I bought this at FragranceNet for around $38, so there's deals for this one out there, and you should definitely snatch it up if you're starting to think about getting into unique fragrances rather than your conventional designer fragrances that are sold at the department store, because I find this to be quite unique for a designer fragrance. I think it's still great, it still smells great. It's not the original M7, but I think it's still almost as good as the original M7, so do give it a try. M7 Oud ABSOLU is at number 19. This next one I decided to include in here because I'm really in love with it all of a sudden, and I kind of was late jumping on the bandwagon of this release. This is ACQUA di Gio Profumo, and what I like about this one is it totally reminds me of the original ACQUA di Gio that was the one that I wore back in the late 90s. The very first time I wore ACQUA di Gio was in 97, and I remember it smelling like this. It had more depth to it, like it was stronger than what they currently have in the original ACQUA di Gio now, not the flanker of course. But I find this to be, not necessarily a heavy fragrance, but it does have that heaviness because of the incense and patchouli in here. And still you got that kind of like melony, melons and aquatic kind of touch to it, which, you know me, I'm not a big fan of aquatic fragrances, but I quite like it in here for some odd reason. And I find this to be perfectly fine to wear in the winter time if you want something a little more fresher, a little more aquatic. So ACQUA di Gio Profumo is at number 18. Next up is the second fragrance from the house of MOLINARD, and this is Vanille Patchouli. So if you like vanilla and patchouli and you like those together, this is it for you. This was recently featured in the top 20 patchouli fragrances video I did with Dahlia, and so it's not quite patchouli, it's not quite vanilla, it's just a combo of those two, and it's awesome. So, and this won't break your bank. You can find deals for these around $45 to $65. So it's a great value, and one if you want to just like focus on specific styles of notes, because they also have a vanilla fragrance like this, just vanilla on its own, and they also have a patchouli fragrance like this, all patchouli on its own, but this one's the combo of the two. It's a great house. I've been to their perfumery in Grasse, France, in the south of France, and I enjoyed that visit a lot. And if you ever make it to France and go to the south of France and go to Grasse, definitely go visit MOLINARD. But this is a great release, perfect for winter, and it's Vanille Patchouli by MOLINARD, and that's at number 17. I wanted to include a musk, an inexpensive musk in this list, and this is KIEHL'S Musk at number 16. And why do I have this in here? This is actually really close to the skin, but very, very intimate, very kind of sexy musk. It's not pricey at all. It's about $42 for a 50 ml like this, and a great scent. It smells like really true musk that they used to use from the DIOR musks in the past, but this scent is just awesome. I really like it because it's just got that classic smell, but it's all synthetically produced. Plus, it's closer to the skin, but it does have great longevity for what it is. So, I mean, if you want a winter scent that's more personal, more close to the skin, then this is the one you should check out. It's KIEHL'S Musk at number 16. 15, we're going to the house of Guerlain, and this is Rouge Eau de Parfum. So this is the EDP edition of Rouge. It's got a little more depth to it compared to the EDT. It's a little bit more vanillic and a little more resinous also. The citrus notes are not as jumping out as much as it is in the EDT version, but I think it's perfect for winter. And you can get a bottle like this for around $65, $75, so it won't break your bank. And it's a lovely fragrance. It's the men's, I find this to be kind of like the men's Shalimar, but especially in the EDP edition because it is more vanilla and more resins. Like, I think there's also benzoin in here, so it's just a really gorgeous scent. It's very, very cozy. Not at all, I mean, actually, yeah, there's traces of the original EDT version, but this is, as I said, the warmer vanillic oriental notes are more amped up here, but a lovely, lovely scent. So Rouge EDP is at number 15. At number 14, we're going to the house of Valentino, and this is UOMO Intense right here. I know a lot of you like the bottle, and some of you don't like this bottle, but I really like this bottle. I didn't include the new one, the UOMO Noir ABSOLU, because that's not available for under $100, but this I found at a discounter for around $50. So definitely under $100, you can get 2 bottles and be done for $100 for winter. But I find this to be really, really gorgeous actually compared to the original. Even though I love the original, this one's really lovely. It does remind me of a few other fragrances which we'll get to, but perfect winter scent if you want to stick with the designers and you like the brand Valentino, then Valentino UOMO Intense is perfect for you. And this is at number 14. Next one is a fragrance brand called BOGART, and this is BOGART Pour Homme. Man, this is one of the beastliest fragrances I have, and then this is focusing on the tonka bean note, but it's almost like a tonka bean fougere tobacco kind of a mixture of a fragrance. Very, very lovely, but potent as hell. I mean, if you like beastly fragrances, this is one to try, and this is one of the cheapest fragrances out there. I think I bought this in a gift set for 20 bucks, like $20, literally. It came with a aftershave lotion and then a shower gel. So $20 is really, really cheap. You can buy like 5 $20 fragrances if there are 5 $20 fragrances, and you'll have 5 for around $100. But I don't think there are that many for around $20 that are really quality, and this one is actually really, really quality and really, really heavy. So if you like tonka bean, a fougere style with some tobacco, this one's definitely one to try. So this is BOGART Pour Homme, a great underrated brand that releases really, really beastly fragrances. So definitely check out BOGART. This is BOGART Pour Homme, and that's at number 13. This next one, another designer release, and I bought a used bottle of it. I should probably get a full bottle, but I still have the used bottle of it. I wanted to give it a try because everybody is talking about it. This is Gucci Intense Oud. I find this to be one of the best designer oud fragrances that you can find for under $100. It's part of like the regular lineup, not as part of like an exclusive collection or a more expensive collection or private collection and things like that. And this is Gucci's regular collection because, you know, they have men's releases that look like this bottle. So it's definitely part of their normal collection. And you can find deals because I saw them online. I was looking at Notino and there were testers being sold for around $50 and there were like bottles unopened for around $80, I think was 60 or 80, somewhere around there. But if you want an oud and a great oud, this is one to try. I think it's a great one. It's perfect for winter and it's really lovely. I mean, classic oud smell with like a spices, like I think there's saffron in here, spit leathery, and then there's like cardamom in here also. It's just really, really beautiful. So Gucci Intense Oud at number 12. This next one is a indie niche house from Portland, Oregon, and this is a City on Fire from Imaginary Authors. Now, I wanted to include one from this brand, and this is the one I chose this time because I absolutely love this. It smells like a forest fire with like some warm, gooey touches in there. Definitely not Maison Margiela's By the Fireplace. It's different. That one's more gourmand. This one doesn't have a gourmand touch, but there's a sweetness from, I think there's Kate, I'm reading the back, and there's Labdanum. So Labdanum has this ambery touch to it, so I think it's sweetened up from those, but it's not like a gourmand sweet. It still smells like a campfire, a forest, plus those sweet notes. It's absolutely become my favorite Imaginary Authors fragrance, and it's $95 for a 50 ml, so it's definitely under $100. And this is just amazing. I absolutely love this one. As I said, it's my favorite from Imaginary Authors, so do check it out. It's City on Fire, and that's at number 11. Into the top 10, we're going to the House of Mugler, and this is Pure Malt. This has moved down. Kind of gotten tired of this one a little bit. Plus, I think maybe it's been reformulated a little bit, so it doesn't have that heft or depth and heaviness to it. When I first got into these, like really get into fragrances around 2011, 2012, I went to Italy and I took this with me and, a previous bottle, and I also took Pure Havana with me, and they lasted quite a long time. But this is a more later, like this is a more recent bottle from this year, and I just don't find it to be as unique, or maybe my taste has changed, I don't know, but still a great scent. I think it's one of the better winter fragrances from this brand. It's one of the better flankers from this brand, or the Amen flanker. So do check it out. It's all about whiskey and barley, but it has that Mugler touch to it, the patchouli and things like that. So it's a Pure Malt from Mugler, and that's at number 10. Next up, it's from Prada, and this is Prada L'Homme Intense, this one right here, the EDP version. So I find these to be a little similar. They're also under Puig. The distributor is Puig, a Spanish brand. I don't know, I find them to be similar, but since this is newer, I went with this one. I think this, I mean, it even kind of reminds me of Dior Homme, like that line. But, I mean, they're both great fragrances, just this one I think I like as a smell better. And I did a review for this one, and I mentioned in there that this doesn't project as much as the original EDT. It's a little more closer to the skin, but it doesn't mean it doesn't last. It's great. I absolutely love the smell. So do try this one, and there's a small version for under $100 you can get, rather than the 100 ml is over 100, but the smaller version is under 100. So that you'll have to do that with if you want to pick up a bottle of this one. So this is Prada L'Homme Intense at number 9. So at number 8, we're going to Tauerville, Andy Tauer's Tauerville line, and this is Patch Flash, the latest one. And we did a review with Dahlia, and we featured it in the top 20 patchouli fragrances recently. If you want to check those out and learn about patchouli, you can. But this is so lovely. I absolutely love this one. This has become my favorite, along with Vanilla Flash and Rose Flash. And actually I'm really pulling for this one more now, and I absolutely love it. So I had to include it on this list because it's only $63 for a 30 ml. It's EDP concentration, but these act like extrait de parfum concentration. So they're just very thick and oily when you spray them on. So they stay on you for a lot longer. And if you at all into patchouli, this will be it for you. So patchouli or Patch Flash is at number 8 from Tauerville. So at number 7, we're going back to the House of Mugler, and this is Pure Havana. So this is the other one, as I was saying, took to Italy and wore it for like all winter long for a month, and I really, really enjoyed it. But this one doesn't seem as altered as much as the pure malt has from when I first got into it, like back 4 or 5 years ago, to now. So I still love this a little more now. It used to be the other way around. And this one's a great tobacco scent. Nothing like, even though both of these are like inspired by Havana, Cuba, Havana, and this is pure Havana, but they're nothing alike. This is very old school. This is very gourmandish, Mugler-ish. So, but a really beautiful scent. The tobacco, the honey together is just gorgeous. So pure Havana is at number 7. Next up, we're going to a small Italian designer house, and this is Costume National Homme. This is the 100ml bottle, which retails for more than 100, but the 50ml bottle retails for around $75–80. And once in a while, there are discounts on these for under $100. So I wanted to include it on the list because it's one of my favorite designer fragrances. A spicy, there's a cinnamon and cloves, and a tea-like and a dried fruity-like vibe to it. Just an absolutely gorgeous scent, and lasts a long time. So this is one that you should check out. I did a review recently for their newer release called Soul, which is unisex, but this one's actually targeted strictly to men, but I find it to be unisex also. So do check it out. Costume National Homme is at number 6. So on to the top 5. We're going to the House of Mandarina Duck, and this is Mandarina Duck Black. I recently did a comparison with this one with Xerjoff's Uden, and I find them to be very close, and just a gorgeous scent. If you can track this down, I hope you can, because I'm seeing that they're being just like not very much found. I did see some on eBay, so I hope you can track them down and pick it up, because I recently bought a backup bottle of it and I absolutely love it. I mean, the original is close, but I find this one to be a little better. I don't know why. Just it performs more, like it just performs better. It has more projection. The other one seems a little flat, the original, the EDT. Do check it out. I highly recommend this one, and check out my comparison video for this fragrance, Mandarina Duck Black Extreme with Xerjoff Uden. I think you should definitely know about this one, and if you can track down a bottle, definitely do. So that is at number 5. Number 4, we're going to the House of Dior, and this is Dior Fahrenheit Le Parfum. This definitely would have to be on this list. You can track down bottles. I just picked up a bottle from Overstock for around $75. It's a 75ml bottle. It's not a 100ml bottle, so it's different. The bottle's pretty heavy also. But this is also a very different take on Fahrenheit. You can still pick up traces of Fahrenheit where, you know, sometimes they make a fragrance and they call it something, and it's completely different than what it's supposed to be, like a flanker of. Here you can definitely pick up the traces of Fahrenheit, which is awesome, but it's got a boozy edge, it's got a vanilla edge, it's got a leather edge to it, and that's actually really a unique take on Fahrenheit. So the original Fahrenheit, the version now, I don't really like as much. It's still a pretty good scent, but it's not what it used to be. But this is a beefy, long-lasting, perfect fragrance. Perfect fragrance for winter, I find. And you know, it's cozy also, because the petroleum note that was in the original is not in here anymore. So it's just kind of like a boozy gourmand take on the original Fahrenheit, which might turn off some people because it doesn't have that masculine edge too much. But just give it a try and see what you think, because I love it. And actually, I find this to be very unisex too. So Fahrenheit Le Parfum at number 4. This next one is from the House of Guerrilla Perfume, Lush's Guerrilla Perfume, which I just recently did a video of for sampling. This called Rentless. It retails for just under $100. It's 100ml, but you can pick up a like a smaller bottle for less than 100. So if you wanted to do that, you could do that. But this is just like $99 for 100ml. And this was recently featured in the Patchouli video that we did with Dahlia. And also I did a first impressions of the fragrances, and then there's also the Guerrilla gallery tour with House Samples where he explains this. So it is a patchouli fragrance, spicy, doughy, just kind of a unique fragrance, but really heavy, but slightly sweet. So if you like that kind of thing, I just pick up a lot of bready, doughy kind of notes with the patchouli. Like it's just a unique fragrance, and it's called Rentless, but you should watch the story of why this is called Rentless. But I absolutely love this. This you can probably easily find at Lush stores. If you have a Lush store near you, go check out their fragrances and smell this one. This is really lovely. So this is Rentless at number 3. This next one is ARAMIS, going back to the house of ARAMIS, where we had their original fragrances and they got repackaged or rebottled in these like uniform bottles where you have the original, you've got this one, ARAMIS 900, all of their releases. They launched like 4 or 5 years ago, they launched the Calligraphy series, and this is Saffron from Calligraphy. So ARAMIS Saffron, so they're totally different bottles, but you can find these fragrances for around $45. It's 100 ml and it's just a gorgeous scent. It's actually like one of the best fragrances I've ever put my nose on that you can get for really inexpensive. But I bought it from Overstock. No, I bought this from Notina quite a while ago. I think I need to get a backup bottle because I'm not sure how long they'll last because they have so much at the discounters online. But originally they were selling at Neiman Marcus here and they just moved them away really quickly, and suggested retail is probably around $200 for these. So it's definitely worth it, and the saffron in here is just gorgeous. So it's saffron, it's ambery, it's a bit leathery, and then it's also a little bit of rosy. So oh man, it's just great, and it's perfect for winter, I think. If you want something completely original, this is one of my favorite saffron fragrances. So this is ARAMIS Calligraphy Saffron, and that's at number 2. Last but not least, the king of them all, at least to me, I absolutely love this scent. It's very, very sexy. This is Dior Homme Parfum. You probably knew this was going to be here. So this one I just recently purchased for around $80 online. And at this one I did buy it Overstock because I was looking at FragranceNet and I couldn't find any there. So Overstock had them, I bought 2. And this is the one I'm using, and then there's my backup bottle. I don't know what happens, but I guess they were just completely out at FragranceNet, and even Notino didn't have it either. Amazon didn't have it, so I got the best deal for around $80. It's a 75 ml bottle, just like this Parfum, Dior Parfum. So this is all about Dior Homme, just amplified, intensified. So if you like Dior Homme and you want something a little sexier, so it's got a lot more leather, it's got some rose in there, it's got lots of iris, and it smells like lipstick smeared in a purse, an old, very smelly, leathery purse, but sexy. It's a sexy, smelly purse. But wow, man, it's just, you know what? I also pick up like sweet, kind of like gourmandish notes, but not heavy, because the leather and the iris and the rose and all of that stuff is really big. And oh my god, it's the sexiest designer fragrance I've put my nose on. So do check it out, Dior Homme Parfum. Get yourself a bottle. I don't know how long this will be around. I mean, I'm not sure. I hope more, because it's just really, really good. It's just really sexy. So that's Dior Homme Parfum, number 1. So guys, that's my list. 25 fragrances, perfect for winter, all under $100, from designer brands, from niche brands, from indie brands. So what do you think? Did I miss anything? Should I have included something that I don't have here? Should I remove anything? Let me know your thoughts. Also, please let me know what you're wearing this winter. Are you wearing fragrances under $100? Are they all over $100? Are they really expensive? Are they really cheap? Let me know what you're wearing and we can get a conversation started. Also, if you want me to check out any fragrances that you want me to potentially review, let me know. Put comments down so I can check them out. And thanks so much for watching the video again. Appreciate that you're subscribed to this channel and continue to come back. Please like this video, please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.